I figured you guys could do for a break between all of my Nintendo Switch 2 content. And that's because, well, I do, hang out here in VRC with this, full body tracked avatar. And there is a story behind this avatar that has not seen the light of day yet. And I think I will make it a video at some point. I just don't know how to tell the full story because there was a lot that went into this. And believe it or not, and this is the weird thing, it happened around VCAT of last year. And we're actually about to get to VCAT again. So that's actually, it's interesting and kind of cool. But VRChat has made some changes between then and now. And that is that they actually have an internal avatar buying system. Now, this one is somewhat custom. The parts were purchased by me and assembled by me and then put into VRChat by me. So I'm actually really curious to see how this actually works. I even did shopping in VCAT. I actually found this avatar in VCAT, believe it or not. I don't know if I've ever shown this, but I can actually take off the hat. Beep! There's actually ears under here. so yeah, I actually did a lot of work to actually make this whole thing just kind of like work and come together. And now, allegedly, you could just buy it. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's get right into it. Hello and welcome. My name is Wolfy and you're watching Lesser Than Cake. It looks weird to not have my hat on. Boop, hat back. Okay, now I've heard mixed things about buying avatars like this through VRChat. And I mean, it makes sense. When you think about it, VRChat has been a very open platform, and sharing avatars is like a pretty normal thing. And if everybody's using custom avatars, then, well, that aspect kind of goes away a little bit. And while I do understand that, I also understand that there are cases like myself where I have this avatar as my face of like everything, my YouTube channels, all of it. And I don't go into public instances dressed like this. Not because I don't want people to recognize me, but because I don't want people to just take it. And yes, this avatar is locked, and I understand that that should be enough protection, but I do know about ripping and all the stuff that happens with that. And so sometimes I actually look for fallback avatars. I have actually been using one of my characters that I created as a fallback because it's a Vroid model, and it's not as much effort as this one was. Because this one has everything from face tracking to like the toggles that I just showed off. Like, I can stick my tongue out. That is something that I actually had to assemble. I'm going to say assemble a lot because there are some very talented people who made this avatar happen. Mainly the base being the Wolfy base. The hat is its own thing. I did some customization work on it, but the actual hat itself was made by another very talented artist. And the hair itself is something that I had to custom modify, but I did make it work. So there are a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of like, it wasn't exactly plug and play, but there were very talented people who made it happen. Heck, even the code for the face tracking is code that somebody else wrote specifically for that model, and then I had to implement it. And trust me, phase tracking implementation, crazy stuff to have to do. I am glad that someone created a script to do it for me because I was getting through it and I was lost. I know enough about creating visemes and all that stuff to make it happen. I just was very, very lost. It's a very complicated thing to do. So if this can simplify that process and I can get a fallback avatar today, well, I mean, how much does it cost? And more or less, is there going to be like 1,000,001 people running around with the same avatar? I don't know. So I guess let's just do some shopping.
Now, the process of actually trying on avatars for VRChat is actually kind of fun. You have this whole menu of just avatars that are available for purchase, and all of the currency is in this made up VRChat currency. But the cool thing is you can try on every single avatar and you can try on all of its features. The only thing that prevents you from, well, just walking out and using that avatar is that the avatar will not be shown to those around you. So while you're shopping, you can actually try on a couple different things and see how you like them and how they work with your tracking, and more importantly, whether they had the features you need. I was looking for 3 things. One is Quest compatibility, allowing me to actually be seen by Quest users without having to use a fallback avatar. 2 was face tracking, because after adding face tracking to my headset, I have decided I'm never going back. And the last thing I needed was something that was within enough of my style that if I were to walk around in that avatar, I could still be recognized as me despite not actually being in my avatar. And there were a lot of good options. Like, there's this jelly flan that was adorable and cute and jiggly and had so many toggles. There was this Fennec Fox avatar that the only reason that I didn't use it was because, unfortunately, the outfit choice is very, very summer, and I kind of wanted something that'd be a little bit more universal. There was even this really funny, I would say, Splatoon inspired avatar that is very, very detailed and had some absolutely hilarious emotes. But I did eventually find the perfect one.
Okay, guys, I have done my shopping. I've picked out my avatar, and I've even done some research on it. I turned off the post-processing so you can see it in all of its glory. There we go. Now, this is Re Koyomi by Nikki. And as you can see, this thing is pretty good. We got face tracking, eye tracking. We've got fully customizable colors and everything and styles. All of this has been customized by me over the course of time, entirely in VRChat. Tracking quality, I would say, looks pretty good. And honestly, this was pretty effortless. Like, I just, bought the credits from the Steam store, and then I used the credits to buy the avatar. Now, here's a couple of caveats to this whole situation. If you are used to buying normal avatars, this is not gonna be the same process, because unfortunately, I don't have access to the files to this character. This character is still very much only tied to my account, and the original files are tied to the original creator. And so at $20, you get access to this avatar, but nothing else. And luckily, customization is entirely covered by this model that Nikki made. And I think that actually looks very, very solid. Like, this character looks great. And the customization options are very, very solid. The fact that I can kind of make something that, at a glance, you look at this and go, oh yeah, that's definitely Wolfy, isn't a bad thing. And the rigging and everything is kind of perfect, because this is actually available as a Quest avatar too, which means that if I am playing in a public instance, I can switch into this avatar and people can see me without any problems. And one of the big benefits to this is that if I were, say, a Quest player or a player that used standalone only, or maybe had a lower technical skill, this is easy. And based off the research I found, this is very much a original avatar created by this person. And so it's, at least in my eyes, not the worst case scenario. I saw some people talking about how copyright and content or stolen avatar assets are going to end up in this store. So in this case, for this avatar, it is not a problem. But it could be for future cases. And I have to say, this thing is very, very high quality for $20. But I told you I did some research. And the reason I did some research is because I wanted to see if I could actually buy this avatar elsewhere. And the answer is yes. Nikki actually has their own store. And on their store is Koyomi, who can be purchased for $45. But you're probably thinking, wait, that's a little bit more than just, $20. It is. But the file that you get with the Koyomi that you buy from the store includes the assets, includes the original Blender models, and includes an entire, well laid out Unity file that allows you to bring this avatar into the game effortlessly. And do you want to know how I found out? It's because when I went to Nikki's website, I found this. This is the Phoebe avatar. And guess what? Same features. We got face tracking. We got full customization. We got we got a pet with this version. And the best part is, this looks an awful lot like my character. No real customizations here. This is just a wolf witch that just so happened to be made by somebody else and just so happens to have a very similar style to the one that I use. A lot of coincidences here, but same rules apply. Lots of customization, can customize inside of VRChat, and as you can see, it's still a super high quality model. It has the same cost as the one prior, which is $45, and I was able to add this into VRChat in less than an hour. There was a little bit of knowledge that I had beforehand, specifically because I have my own Wolfy avatar that I put into VRChat that made it so that I didn't have to learn how to do this, but Nikki does provide tutorials inside of the file that allows you to actually put these into the game kind of effortlessly. Everything from the face tracking is already set up, the gestures are already set up, the pets, the sub menus, everything is already here. In fact, watch, I can literally just take off the hat. Just like that, super easy. And so I personally really love the quality of this avatar to the point that I'm probably going to actually use it. What I find very interesting is, despite not having bought this one through VRChat, VRChat was what got me to this avatar. I wouldn't have found it otherwise because Nikki's stuff is actually on their website, not on anything like Gumroad or Booth. And so because of that, I had never seen this. So in many ways, if it weren't for the VRChat store, I would have never even looked for this, which is kind of cool. So then it brings me to, which one is better? And this is a complicated question for a lot of reasons. One, this technically is my preferred way to do things. I have the files, I have access to change things, and I have the ability to go into Blender and make adjustments if I would like. But I acknowledge that going into Unity and Blender is a daunting task. And the fact that I can do it doesn't discount the fact that not everybody can. And so while this one is very plug and play, super user friendly, very high quality, if I were, say, the same old, scrub who had just started VRChat and was using a default avatar, this would be intimidating. And paying the $20 for the other model would make a lot of sense. But because I've put my own model into the game, and because I've done all this work and I understand Blender, I understand Unity to this point, by the time I'm using an avatar that needs this many features, I probably have a good enough understanding of everything in order to actually implement my own models, or, well, implement Nikki's model into my own account. So it's a weird situation where I think that for some users, it is going to be great. But for others like myself, I'm kind of willing to pay the extra money so that I have full access to the assets so that I can change things if I wanted to. I just didn't have to because Nikki made my character just like this. So overall, I enjoyed this journey, but at the same time, I don't think this is where I thought it was going to end. But this is also where the video ends. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, consider giving it a like, maybe comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Actually, you know what I really want to know down in the comments? Do you have a custom avatar that you paid for? Did you make your own custom avatar? I want to know, what do you guys do? And do you think that buying avatars through VRChat is cool or lame? I mean, honestly, I haven't heard too much about it. There's not really been too much discourse. So I'll see you in the next video. Wolfy